Okay. Comes to the Bad End Theater, something about toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you'd like. I want to be a demon. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Play nice. Try to make friends with the human doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, this story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. Control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? You and the demon doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility. It's just not suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. Both attack each other at once and die together. Do you understand how to play? Yeah, I get it. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. You're the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You're told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at a nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden, but demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life, but you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero, after all. This is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You're faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord said she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever, at least she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Useless hero, and got one. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You're faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. Sneak past as much as you want to see the Overlord. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. There are evil demons. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all our soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can see only one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You've become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before the final battle. The Overlord is also no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. It's just as you suspected. She must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero end. Got it. Okay. You're a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You are told that you are fated to be captured by the Overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon Overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity. Who knows? You're in a church. You pray to your God, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You're impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just to hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon, just to, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. A lot. How painful. This plan of yours is completely stupid, you think. Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why'd you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This is all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Not bad. You yell, but a hero does not come. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting a lot. Skip. Is there any way to not have that happen? You're a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge that Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing one place staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she kind of is a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Let's not. You tell your friends you were totally not serious about this whole thing, and you're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod, but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effort. A coup d'etat... I never know how to pronounce that. I hate French. Would be more effort than it's worth. But you're still gonna be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. Change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. Gobble her up. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without as much as a second thought and feel quite proud of that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into the nearby village. People are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak, and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience's screams grow louder. Applause! You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down. After all, as you die, you think that was totally worth it. Curtain closes. Performer underling end. Is that the stage? You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take that day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. Change skip. Tell her to quit yelling. The maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her. She regains her composure. She's now started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in the world? If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. Bottom line from what you gather is she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and says that was a joke, of course. And you say that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're going to get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, that sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead? Your friend questions your loyalty to their cause. Okay, let's kill the overlord. You tell them you're just joking and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you're always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her up in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs. Useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. They'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on. And while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. Just can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has an castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? Fuck! Dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. Your friends soon arrive to back you up, except they don't. They blame the whole thing on you. They cry that it was all your idea, and they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You all shout at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear your traitorous friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the two humans. And then the room bursts into flames! You pound on the door, screaming curses at the... And then the room bursts into flames! You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish you'd get that chance. Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You were forced into this mess. You're sure now that they would have killed you if you sided with her. But the Overlord doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick.